This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
The government has introduced information on a new tax system which will help create equality among Bahamians paying taxes. Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry Christie tabled a white paper on tax reform in the House of Assembly yesterday.
Well, among several things, it seeks to create balance, as in the current system, Bahamians who are currently struggling financially pay the same taxes as wealthier citizens. The Prime Minister explains that this new tax system will modernize and improve revenue distribution. Our Cyan Thompson is on the story.
The government wants to implement a new system of taxation that will share the tax burden fairly among Bahamians. Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry Christie.
By predominantly focusing on goods, our tax system is out of balance with international norms. It does not share the tax burden with those who are providing services in a way that is fair or adequate. Moreover, a goods-centric taxation system is inherently unfair as it makes the poor, struggling Bahamian pay the same in taxes as the wealthiest citizen does. In short, the current tax system is regressive. In distributing the tax burden, it takes no account of varying levels of means within our society.
The white paper on tax reform will also secure adequate revenue for the future and broaden the tax base to include goods and services. Prime Minister Christie outlined the three objectives of the new tax system.
Namely, 1, to secure an adequate revenue base in support of modern governance. 2, to establish a tax structure that promotes economic efficiency and stronger economic growth. And 3, to make the tax system more equitable.
To achieve the goals within the new system, Prime Minister Christie stated that a value-added tax, VAT, is proposed and could be introduced as of July 1st, 2014. This, he states, is important for several reasons.
It is also proposed to effect the eventual reductions in import duty rates that will accompany the Bahamas' accession to the World Trade Organization, referred to as WTO, to reduce excise tax rates to compensate for the VAT, to eliminate business license tax as currently structured, and to replace the hotel occupancy tax.
The government is inviting the public to provide comments and feedback on the white paper as they prepare to bring this piece of legislation to Parliament. For the ZNS News Network, I'm Cyan Thompson.
Well, officials say crime and tourism is a toxic mixture and a recipe for economic disaster. And with the country already struggling with a weak economy, the Minister of Tourism is calling on Bahamians everywhere to do more to protect our country's #1 industry. Carla Palmer explains.
The murder count here in the Bahamas currently stands at 12, 2 less than the same period last year. Although murders have become more commonplace than in previous years, its prevention remains a high priority for the government. Already, officials at the United States Embassy here in the Bahamas have sent out advisories to U.S. citizens, encouraging safety measures. Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Obi Wilshcombe, says the effects have far-reaching implications for our tourism product.
If we continue along those lines, then we'll do irreparable damage to our nation. We're a peaceful country. We've been able to cause our country to go because of tourism. People have come because they enjoy the civil order that we have in the Bahamas, the fact that we have a judicial system that has caused our stability, and we've been able to build upon the financial services as well as tourism and other sectors. Well, we can't destroy that, and so we've got to get Bahamians to understand what's fundamentally important. Let's protect our country, let's protect our lives, and even those persons who are categorized as criminals, they must remember they have children, and their children have to live in this country, and they have to make this country better for their children. And because they do things today, it will reflect upon the entire country, including their families. So if they don't want to think about themselves, think about their families, think about their children, think about the future of our nation.
Minister Wilshcombe is calling on Bahamians to think national in scope and act accordingly.
The country has to offset it by what we do in terms of how we reduce the number of criminal activity, and also to ensure that the Bahamians understand what responsibility they have. We at Tourism, we intend to get some ads going, public service announcements going, to make sure that we're getting the message out. We've got to talk to our people. The resolution of this problem lies with the Bahamian people, lies in our hearts and in our soul. It has nothing to do with anything else except those persons who are picking up weapons must understand that when they pick up a weapon, they are also destroying us. Every single Bahamian, they're destroying this country. And so when they decide to do that, they must appreciate the damage that they do to the entire nation. And if we don't protect the industry, we're going to lose it. So every single day we're working to ensure that we get beyond this period, because we're a destination that we want to make desirable. We want to make our destination a place where people want to come to and to enjoy.
I'm Carla Palmer for ZNS Network News.
Youth, Sports and Culture Minister Daniel Johnson is calling on the country's youth to be more vocal when it comes to national issues. Mr. Johnson was speaking to a group of Bahamian youth ambassadors today during a special meeting with CARICOM Secretary General Erwin LaRoque, who is in town this week.
I see a lot of letters come across my desk and some beautiful prose and presentations, but I don't see you all on the street yet protesting rape, violence, major events in the country, making noise, showing up at these things, putting your hand on the table, getting your voice out there. If you don't feel right about it, I think this is time to do something about it.
Director of Youth Darren Turnquest agrees. He says today's dialogue with Ambassador LaRoque gives Bahamian youth the opportunity to speak up as the ambassador is seeking to strengthen CARICOM's relationship with Bahamian youngsters.
I think really what Minister is saying for young people to be active participants in their life and not simply passive observers of their life passing them by. I think sometimes our culture states that young people are to be seen and not heard. And I think myself standing in front of these cameras today speaks to the efforts of really the young people of this nation beginning to take a stand and to get involved in the democratic process and to get involved in positions of leadership. Sometimes we don't apply for certain positions. We don't assert ourselves in a particular way because culturally we're told that we have a place. There's a time and a place for us. And I think we need to tell the nation, we need to tell young people, and I'm standing as a youth myself, as a director of youth of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, to say that the opportunities are out there, that the access for young people to be engaged and to engage and affect change in our country is there. We just got to stand up, get involved, and be like Nike and just do it.
All right, joining us next is Charles Fisher with your first look at sports.
And Family Island news is just around the corner too. Stay close.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.